That's the Read World of Matchups. Spencer the Wiz, Blue Milk Boys Gaming, week number 10. So, we're going to talk about the Seahawks. They're heading to Germany to play the Buccaneers. So, before I even start this breakdown, I got to go on record because, like, I'm a real football fan, and when I'm right, I'm going to puff my chest out. But when I'm wrong, I'm going to say, "Yo, I was wrong." You know what I mean? And I got to say, it's been a long time since I missed the mark so bad on a take as much as I've done with the Seattle Seahawks. They are easily the biggest surprise in the National Football League this year at 6-3. Comeback player of the year will definitely be Geno Smith. When I looked at their schedule, Spence, to begin the year, there was a good shot that they were going to win one or no games. And right now, they are on their way to the playoffs. I really can't.
Unreal.
I can't believe what I'm seeing. Every week I say to myself, well, let's just give it another week before I really hop on and see what are they real? Because I just keep waiting for the gingerbread house to come crumbling down. I said Pete Carroll should retire. None of these things have been true. They are an absolute solid football team. Sometimes getting rid of your star will galvanize your team and bring them closer together. You're watching their post-game remarks, and there's multiple guys up there at the mic. It's not just one guy, and they're all banding together, and they're all saying the same thing. This is a team game. We don't care who gets the credit, and we are rallying around Coach. We are rallying around Geno, and they're winning games. That being said, I think Tampa Bay is lucky to have won last week. I think we should be looking at Tom Brady as absolutely not having come out of retirement, but Sean McVay and the prevent defense allowed them to stay in it and basically gift wrap them a win that they shouldn't have gotten. I like the Seahawks here in Germany. They're getting 3 points. I think Tom Brady is washed. I think the defense of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers is not nearly as good as the defense that won them the Super Bowl versus the Kansas City Chiefs. JPP is gone. Ndamukong Suh is gone. I think on offense, Fournette has been very ineffective to this point. I would give the ball to Rachaad White, which they will not do because they're stubborn. And we all know that that's Tom Brady's team. Coach really has no say in what's happening there. I think the team got lucky last week, and everyone's going to get gassed. And there's no home field here. There's none of your fans there to will you to it. And I think just so many off the field distractions with Brady. And, you're going to go into this with Geno Smith. And again, they're up against a really good quarterback who's got Hall of Fame and implications all over the place. And they're going to band together as a team. And I think they're going to win this game. Forget plus the points. I think Seattle is going to win this game outright. DK Metcalf, Tyler Lockett, and Kenneth Walker III, man. Can we put some respect on this kid's name? This kid is quietly having the rookie season of the ages. It's almost like a poor man's Edgerrin James type year. Come out of nowhere, gets his shot. Carson retires, Penny goes out, and here this guy, all he does is 100 yards on the ground every single week, touchdown every single week. This may be the best coaching job I have seen Pete Carroll ever have in the National Football League. Do I think they're going to win the Super Bowl? No, I don't. But I'm one to give people their flowers when they're deserving. And I love Seattle this week. They are another one of my favorite bets this week. If you're scared, tease them down. I think Tom Brady is fool's gold at this point. The guy is 45 years old, folks. He's old. And if you can take Mike Evans out of the equation, they have absolutely no gas left in the tank. Your thoughts, Spencer?
Yeah, well, there's so many aspects of this. Like, what has Tampa Bay done to deserve to be
Nothing.
favorited in
This
like
should
any
be a
game right now?
this should be a pick 'em.
Oh, at least I would think that Seattle would be favored in this game.
Favored in this game.
A team that's rising versus a team that just stinks. We talking about that LA Rams game. I don't remember who said it, but the only thing that prevent defense does is prevent you from winning the
Prevents you
game.
from winning. Sean McVay gave that game away. If you go back
Crazy.
and look at go back and look at the last minute of that game, all the things that had to go right for Tampa to pull that game out. It's comical. It's comical. It's almost like they wanted Tampa to win the game. Go look. Don't take my word for it. Go look. It's absolutely egregious.
Yeah, it's pretty wild. And one thing we have to talk about, because this is the first time we've talked about Seattle this entire season. My goodness, and we talked about it before we started recording. The trade for Russell Wilson,
Heist.
the the repercussions of what this trade is going to do. I said it's almost like right now, at the very least, it seems like the Brooklyn Nets Celtics trade all those years ago between Paul Pierce and Kevin Garnett and a bunch of first round picks. Think about what they got back. Well, Drew Lock didn't do anything. Everyone thought that Drew Lock would just be the starting quarterback for them. They'd win 2 games. Geno Smith comes out and looks like a superstar darn near at this point with his passer rating.
Comeback player of the year.
Noah Fant is looking good.
He
Shelby is looking good. They have first-round picks, which are going to be very valuable first-round picks because the Broncos stink. And then
terrible.
On top of all of this, they get Wilson and they pay him a boatload of money over the next 3 years. Can you imagine what 3 years of this is going to be like for Denver?
He's not going to see the life of that contract, Spencer.
Absolutely
he will get
not.
released.
And who would take it? They won't. They're going to have to eat $30 million for a quarterback that's not going to play. It's honestly insane. Like,
we laugh about the Raiders and the Raiders situation as AFC West guys, but the truth of the matter is the Broncos are in worse shape.
Yeah, because
they're in worse shape.
Think about the comparison between, yes, both the Raiders and the Broncos are bad. I would even say equally bad on some level, but the Raiders are going to have a top 10 pick next year.
They'll have a top 10 pick.
The Broncos will not have a top 10 pick next year.
The Raiders aren't eating $30 million.
The Raiders are going to have a new quarterback next year who could be very, very good.
Denver will have a new head coach. They'll have a new head coach. Nathaniel Hackett is horrific. Nathaniel Hackett's not good enough to coach in the USFL. Let's be honest. I would take Jeff Saturday. We laugh at Jeff Saturday. I would take Jeff Saturday as the head coach over Nathaniel Hackett. Nathaniel Hackett is horrible.
Yeah, so I think you really do have to give a lot of credit to Pete Carroll for putting it all together, but they have a lot of talent. One thing, it really flew under the radar, taking a look at their roster from top to bottom. We just assumed they'd be bad because they were bad last year. Russell Wilson was bad last year, not the team necessarily, and they're showing that this year. So Pete Carroll, you got to give the guy, because at this point he's doing it because he loves the game that much. I mean, that's, for sure, because the guy's old. He has no reason to keep coaching, kind of like Greg Popovich. They just love the game, and it's showing right now. So I think it's really cool to see.
Pete Carroll is doing a better job this year than Bill Belichick.
Yeah,
let that sink in. Pete Carroll, who I wanted fired, who I wanted to be gone, is doing a better job this year than the HOF coach. It's unbelievable.
Absolutely. So all the credit in the world to them. And like I said, I think Seattle wins this game too. I'm absolutely 100% putting them at the very least on a teaser card, but there's going to be a ticket of mine somewhere, somehow that's going to have them on the money line. I love giving those. I usually try to pick one underdog a week who I go for the money line. This is the clear, obvious choice for me. I could see this being a blowout. I mean, the Bucs season could seriously unravel at any moment. And the Bucs are so lucky if they do win this game that they play in the most garbage division in the entirety of football, and they could still make the playoffs. I can just see it right now. But honestly, the team is so bad that I don't even know if they can overcome the Tom Brady effect at this point in the season. So I'm with you. I think Seattle wins this one.
Yeah, the only advantage I think that, the Buccaneers will have over Seattle is the amount of flying time that each team has to make to Germany. I mean, Seattle, they're flying a long, long way, man. I mean, that's a long flight, 10,000 something miles. However, I think on paper right now, both teams, all things being equal, are not the same. I think Seattle's a little bit better. Like I said, Tampa
the camaraderie.
That they go look at the press conferences that the Seattle Seahawks are having after each game. It's multiple players up there. They're not just talking to Geno. They're all
on the Let's Go podcast either.
Yeah. That Let's Go podcast is garbage. Let's be honest. Larry Fitzgerald and Tom Brady, stop. That's nothing but
Larry Fitzgerald is not.
It's so bad. I mean, it's glorified
Why are you
nonsense.
Doing this in the middle of the season too, man? It really is embarrassing to me.
It's embarrassing. It's embarrassing, and
it's not football, dude.
It's not. And while Tom Brady is going to always still be Tom Brady, I think that a slept-on factor in this game is going to be the defense of the Seattle Seahawks, who also haven't gotten their flowers. They have kept these teams at bay. I don't care how bad these teams are. I don't care if it's Arizona. I don't care. They're doing it when people like me were saying that they weren't going to win a game this season. They absolutely have to be given the respect that they deserve. And I'm finally, week 10, taking them on a ticket. And just like you, at worst, bro, I'm putting them on a teaser. And this is this is going to be the dog that I think wins out this week. Scared money don't make money. Spencer the Wiz, Blue Milk Boys Gaming, Dexter Reed, World of Matchups, and we're